Hi everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today got something slightly different. Wanted to come out onto location and come across all these hay bales. It's obviously they've, over the good weather that we've been having, obviously have done the harvest of the wheat and corn, etc. and obviously done all the hay bales. But what I want to look at is some techniques about how to do some focus stacking within Photoshop Elements 2018, and using one of the photo merge tools in there to actually create that focus stack. So obviously getting the foreground, the midground and the background all in sharp focus, because sometimes even at apertures sort of f16, etc., you're not always going to be able to get that full sort of sharpness from front to back, and apart from composition, in my opinion, that's the second most important thing, to making sure that the actual sharpness is there from front to back of the actual image. And hopefully taking several images here, then I can actually process them back in the office and actually process those images and then take it forward from there. So back off to the office now to process the images. Okay, so it's a few days later now, and back in the office to process the image of the focus stacked image that I took out on location. One of the things I didn't mention while I was out on location is the importance to actually make sure that the sequence or the images that you take, you actually remember which ones you actually focus on. So I actually, on the first image, focus on the foreground, one of the hay bales in the foreground. Second image was the midground, and the third image was the foreground as well. And it's just trying to make sure that you remember that, obviously, particularly if there's a time delay between taking the images and then processing them afterwards. So you can make sure that when you're obviously processing that image and obviously merging all of the images together, that you actually know which one you're obviously merging and obviously which one you want in the midground and foreground, etc. as well. So jump into the computer now, and then we'll take it forward from there. So I've opened up all of the images here into Photoshop Elements 2018 and processed all of the 3 images in the camera raw, and made sure that I synchronized all of the settings so each of the image comes out with the same settings. So this image here is the image that I focused on the hay bale here in the foreground. Second image is the one that I focused approximately here in the midground, and the third image I focused on the hill and the trees in the background, so obviously I got that full image all the way through. So from this point here, you go into the guided section on Photoshop Elements 2018, go into the photo merge tool, and then you select on this one here, which is photo merge group shots. Now it's slightly deceiving with this one, because you think all you want it to do is to actually merge all of the sort of family photo and actually get all the people looking forward, but you can actually use it, and I've discovered that you can actually use it for focus stacking, which is a good technique to use to ensure obviously that sharpness from front to back of the image. So click on that, then click on Open All Images. So once you've got this setting up here, what you need to do is make sure that in this grey box here, obviously as it says, you need to drag an image in there to obviously create your base image. So sensibly speaking, it'll make sure that you obviously use your foreground image, which is the blue one here highlighted, as your actual point of interest. So this is going to be your final image on the right hand side, and then on the left hand side here is obviously your sources. So what you need to do here is in the section here, you actually need to use the paintbrush to highlight the areas that you want to obviously have highlighted and to be obviously sharp within that particular part of the image. So here I want obviously the foreground to be sharp, so obviously using the keys to obviously enlarge the brush slightly, you can then start to paint in part of the image that you actually want sharp in the foreground. Once you've done that, what you need to do then is swap over to the midground image, which is this one in yellow here, and then do exactly the same. And the good thing about this is you actually then get to see the different colors of the image. So you know which is going to be the foreground, which is going to be the midground, and then obviously which is going to be the foreground as well. So again, you sort of paint it over, trying to get the detail in there as well, just making sure that you're obviously slightly crossing over a bit. And then finally moving on to the background image. So I would always sort of slightly overlap here as well, and then increasing the brush size, you can then take that image over to make sure that all of the sky is included as well. So once you've done that and you're happy with the extra bits, you can then go back and sort of tidy up if you wanted to on the, particularly on the foreground bit here as well, just make sure I'm getting it all in detail. And then you come over to the advanced options. Now, one thing I like to do as well is I did take this image on a tripod, so the alignment tool is not necessarily needed. However, if I was handheld the image, then obviously I definitely would do that. But the main thing I need to tick on down here in the advanced options is this pixel blending. And what that actually does is then creates that sort of merge between each of the three images. So you obviously get that seamless blend throughout the whole of the image. If you didn't do that, and I have accidentally done this in the past, you then actually get sort of that visual lines between each of the actual images, and it does look obviously very distracting and not pleasant at all. So make sure that that box is clicked and then click the next button. So this is the final image that it's obviously processed together, and then all I intend to do then is click back onto the Expert tab to do my final adjustments. And basically, as you can see here, you've got a little bit of distortion within the picture anyway. So what you tend to need to do is just do a little crop. So I'm obviously going to take it slightly in here. I'll just bring in that side a little bit more. Bring down the sky. And then simply click OK to create the final image. So I hope those techniques help you in processing your images and making sure that you can stack multiple images to obviously increase that focusing and that sharpness throughout the whole of the image. Because as I mentioned when I was out on location, apart from composition, which is the top one on my personal list, sharpness is the second one on that list. Because if you've not got that detail within the whole image, particularly taking a landscape, when you want that sort of sharpness from front to back of the actual image, that's really key. And obviously hopefully this technique can obviously aid you in obviously achieving that. Leave me a comment to see if you're actually using Photoshop Elements 2018 or one of the other Elements programs as well. It's great to see what other people are using out there. Also, if you find this technique helpful as well, and some of the other tutorials that I've obviously done about editing techniques, please let me know if you obviously find those helpful. And also please make sure that if you've liked the video today, make sure you give it a thumbs up, because obviously that's a good indicator that I'm producing the right content for people that's watching. And also please make sure you leave me a comment as well, because I do tend to reply to every comment that's left about my videos. So thanks a lot for watching and take care.